Hey, there's Joe with Sonical Disruptive. How's your day? My day is very well. Thank you for asking. Album review time. The legends Carcass are just about to release a new album called Torn Arteries on September 17th. Now, I say legends because I've read a lot about them. I did not get into this band or listen to them until their last album, Surgical Steel. When that album came out, I listened to it and I gave it some spins, and I was surprised at how much I love that album. So aggressive, so in your face, and just hungry as hell. And that's a word I'm going to use again for this album. While it is very different than Surgical Steel, it is still very hungry. They started in 1986, so they've been around for a long time, and it's so great to hear a band that's been around for that long sound this hungry. They're not playing it safe. They're not just rehashing and reworking old riffs. They are doing new things, coming up with new ideas, and experimenting here, and that is very commendable. Now, there are very classic sounding Carcass songs here. Torn Arteries is in that vein of just straight ahead, kind of pound you in the face type of a deal. Just, rips your flesh right off. But you go right into song 2, Dance of X-Tab, and it's got a very different feel. There's more groove orientation here, I would say. I really enjoy the rhythm section of this band throughout this whole album. So tight, so in the pocket, as it were. And the production here is very good. You can hear the bass predominantly, but you also hear the guitars just so right there, and the drums as well. So you hear everything very clearly, very distinguishable on every part, and the sounds are great. Throughout this, you're going to hear some just phenomenal guitar work, including some really great harmonized guitar work, very Thin Lizzy-esque, and there's some really impressive, fresh sounding riffs here that are just so thick and so just, yeah, they got that thing, that I like, yeah. So, some of my favorite tracks here, I would say The Devil Rides Out is so good. This is slower, groove-oriented, but really good. There's a lot of melody here, but there's drama, and it's a very tasty song. Flesh-ripping Sonic Torment Limited is fantastic. 10-minute song, and it takes you on a true journey, just ups and downs. And this one, you're branching off into progressive territory on this one. You're doing, it's kind of more along the lines of like a later day Enslaved type of a song, but it really highly enjoyable. The Scythe's Remorseless Swing, I had a hard time saying that. That's the last song on the track, and that is incredibly fun as well. Eleanor's Rigor Mortis is also fantastic. So one of the things about this album is it's aggressive. It punches you in the face. It pummels you over the head, but it gives you room to breathe at the same point, and it gives you a lot of melody. It's dark, twisted, and yet you can still have fun listening to it. Very enjoyable. And there's a real heavy thrash element in some of these songs as well. You might think of Megadeth on some of these tunes. So it's not straight ahead Carcass like you may be used to, but it is just a real enjoyable listen in my book. And it's an album that took me by surprise, as did their last album, just how great the production was and how much I personally really enjoyed it, because extreme metal, I can take it in some bands I really enjoy, but not a ton of it do I really like. But I find myself really loving Jeff's voice. Bill's guitar riffs here are incredible, just fantastic, and there's nothing not to enjoy about this album. So there you have it. That is my quick, short, not very in-depth review, but my review of the latest Carcass album. So I would definitely encourage you, especially if you're a fan of the extreme metal scene, if you like melodic death metal, if you like death metal, forget about the melody. You're going to really love this album. So give it a shot. Carcass. Like I said before, I just love seeing a band that's been around for this long sounding this hungry and not just laying back on their old riffs and just, rehashing everything they've done before. I love that they're not doing that here. So, yeah, great album. Thank you very much for watching. See ya.